Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals On The Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry, and the Bengals have won their 5th game of the year. I suspect they're going to win out, but that's not our conversation today. I just think that, when I look at these other teams coming up, and I kind of felt this way going into the Dolphins game. Dolphins different than the Cardinals, which maybe we'll talk about for a second. The Dolphins were new, realizing that the season's over. And it's hard to bounce back that second game. And the Bengals had this against the Ravens as well. When they lost to the Bills, they looked real deflated against the Ravens. So the Dolphins lose last week, out of the playoffs, look real deflated this week, right? They benched Tua and put in Quinn Ewers and didn't look good. The Bengals are trying to figure out how to rebound. The Cardinals have been there for 8 weeks, right? They started off 2-0 and then quickly realized they're not making the playoffs this year either. And those teams tend to fight a little bit different and play a little bit different and understand, like watch the Raiders and Texans. The Raiders don't know. They're not playing like they're out of it. They're just playing football because there's still football left to be played. I think the Bengals are there now as well. And because of it, I think they're better than a 5-win team. If they win 7 games this year, you don't think with a healthy Burrow or Hendrickson, they win 9, 10? Now, I want to not get too crazy with that because I don't want the Bengals to think, yeah, let's just run it back. Everything's great. Because it's not. They need to fix some things, and they have issues and talent. There are some guys you got to retain. There are some guys you got to extend. There are some guys you got to cut and get off the roster and upgrade. And that's for the offseason. We are in evaluation mode fully right now. We started that last week. We put the microscope on Myles Murphy and saw his progress. That's like the third time I think we focused on Myles Murphy definitely in the last year, because we ended one of the episodes last season with an episode on Murphy, and we can see his progress. We've done one on DJ Turner this year. I think we've done one on Dax Hill. If I didn't do it here, I did it on Twitter. We haven't done one on Jalen Davis, who's been a nice addition to the cornerback room in the slot position. When they've moved Dax to the outside and Jalen Davis inside, I didn't think about it beforehand, but when they did, I said, that makes sense. It means they didn't trust some of these other guys that are on the back half of the roster, maybe even Josh Newton. Newton made a great play today. But my point is for this episode, while we're in evaluation mode, there are some players, despite whoever you're playing against, because that's the part about evaluation mode, the wins don't matter. Doesn't really matter if they win or lose. I'm putting the microscope on the players and seeing their talent, evaluating their talent. And are they players you can build around or keep for next year? Because you can't replace all 11 starters. You don't want to replace all 11 starters. But some of these guys are going to have to play next year. And I think of the positions on defense, you'd have to feel best about the cornerback room. So that's our focus today. As the 3 starters currently stand, we'll talk about what maybe the plan is going into next year after we do the film. But the film review today is Dax Hill, DJ Turner, Jalen Davis, and we get a Josh Newton play there too when DJ Turner goes out with a sickness. So flu game for Turner. Remember that while we're watching. But that's our film. That's our focus. The defensive backfield, the corners. We probably will look at Jordan Battle in between there as well because he's going to be involved in what we're talking about. But the focus is the corners today. I would like to get a full battle review in the next few weeks before we finish this thing off. So let's dive in. We're going to be watching 3 players at once, so bear with me if we have to go through plays multiple times. Just to be clear, DJ Turner was mostly shadowing Jalen Waddle. We got Dax Hill over here and Jordan Battle over here. Can we see that yellow? Maybe we'll go with a different color. Is pink better? I think pink's better because that sunlight is going to wash out our yellow. Okay. First play of the game, we got a run play, so we will see some run defense plays as well in here for our guys, especially as we try to focus on the corners. We may get some Jordan Battle when those plays happen for sure. And like I said, I want to do a Jordan Battle review. Quick snap here. You can definitely see instantly bailing out for the corners. DJ Turner and Dax Hill bailing out here. while I believe we got Jalen Davis. And if I say Jordan Davis, I'm sorry, the nose tackle for the Eagles. We've had Jalen for so long on the roster. I've even met his father and hung out with his father for a couple times for he's a good time. And excuse me if I get the name wrong. But I want to point out Battle from the start here. So Battle's down in the box. And he's going to take this right here as Dax is no longer going to set the boundary, set the edge. Battle's going to be the guy to come down and handle this swing screen. It's definitely a screen. And Battle does a good job undercutting it and getting there. Miles Murphy coming from the backside. And then the two of them combining for this tackle at the line of scrimmage for a loss. I'm not sure if that actually went for a loss or not. I think it officially went for a no gain. So nothing on the corners yet. But we're going to get there. You see Jalen looking like he's going to blitz here. Let's see. Nope, he's going to bail out now. Now we're bailing and we're rotating Davis all the way to the safety spot. So you saw he's showing blitz here and then turns and runs. He's going to be the deep safety here. We got Battle being the deep safety here. And we are blitzing from this side. I didn't see who this was, but this is definitely, that has to be Dax. This has to be Dax as Geno Stone comes down. So does all that make sense? We've got a big rotation going the other way. As the same as we broke down to where Christian Benford had that sack. Good pickup by HN here. And we've definitely got Quinn Ewers here. Kind of unsure of what he's looking at. Not really seeing it. Goes, pumps, not really sure. Can I hit this window shot? Can I just hit this here? So he holds onto it and he bails out. And they just throw it up. And this is how, people wondered how did Jalen Davis end up on Darren Waller? Just his own coverage and he rotated back to the safety spot. So that's going to happen. Jalen's not the biggest dude. So he gets treated to a former Pro Bowl right there. Waller made a Pro Bowl tight end. All right. Turner at the top of the screen, already opening his hips right at the snap here, making me think it's some off cover 3 zone. And we get a reverse here. You can already see we've got Battle tripping over himself while Turner's pointing it out. Dax is way back here. He's got his eyes on it. I'm sorry. Let me not kill Battle's name here. This is Geno Stone. Battle's over here. Battle's in the trash. So that's Geno Stone tripping and oh my gosh. I'm watching this film for the first time too, guys. So I'm reacting with it. I didn't know Geno Stone was just going to fall on his own face. That's funny to me. And then let's look at DJ Turner over here. This is stuff you don't see on the film unless you watch the film is what I want to say. You don't see it on TV. Watch Dax at the bottom. Yeah. And then that was Jordan Battle coming all the way across. So this is when the runner, I think it's Jalen Wright, has to go, oh man, Dax is right there. Let me slow down a little bit or make a move. And then Jordan Battle comes and cleans it up. So no credit for Dax on that play. He's not going to show up on the stat sheet. That is a nice play by Dax Hill. And he does stuff like that. He is bigger than most corners. When you move a safety to corner, he should be bigger. Should be able to manhandle guys more often. And he does if you watch the film. I'm watching Jordan Battle here because the corners are just kind of off here as Battle comes up into the box. He works his way inside the box here, and he's going to end up coming in and making the tackle as he's trying to figure out where this run is going. And just Gator rolls at the legs, not in an illegal way. I mean, it does it in a positive way for the defense. Okay, maybe Turner pressing up here with Dax and off coverage against, what do we got, 13 maybe 13 personnel. I think that's 3 tight ends. And we're giving it to the fullback here, and he gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Is that Jalen Davis? Was Jalen Davis out there? I see 35. Yes, it is. Here we go. We got a play here. We got a play to watch. Jalen Davis in the slot here. There's enough circles on him. As the run starts, he's going to sift up, make sure nobody's leaking out this way, right? He's just double checking to make sure the quarterback didn't keep it, or if one of the options, maybe one of the tight ends came this way, to which Dax has the outside guy. I think that's Dax. And then Davis says, okay, now I can go and attack the run here, to which he does, and helps clean it up, finish it up, he and Miles Murphy. And I believe that leads to the Dolphins punting at that point. So this is their second possession now. Lots of motion, misdirection, play action. They're want to come across the middle here. And we got a catch for Jalen Waddle. So let's look at this side of the field here. And I think that's Battle and Turner. So let's see how this plays out. Battle's going to jump down, press Waddle. We pretty much got a two-man situation on Waddle. They're going to double him. We got a guy over the top and a guy underneath. Could disrupt a little bit more if I'm Battle there. If I'm saying, we want a really bigger guy on a smaller guy, I really would like him to knock him off his track. Otherwise, this is a really good throw for Ewers. I mean, the window is here. You come up off play action and you hit it, right? So Turner had the deep coverage there. The inside is linebacker safety if that's the way it goes. Just a good call versus what they have. The only way to really disrupt it is to get a great jam on him, which is easier said than done for a safety on a corner. All right, we'll run defense again here. Do we get anyone involved? Any of our guys that we're trying to focus on today? Not really, but it's a good play for Barrett Carter. Different review. Not today. Not the linebackers today. We will try to get to the linebackers towards the end of the year. Let them get all the development we can. This is the big run for a touchdown. I want to go through everyone here. DJ Turner, top of the screen. He's got to get outside, I think, and take CJ Ham. Who's the fullback? Who's there? I can't remember his name now. Anyways, he gets blocked to the outside. That's his job. I'm going to go back now to Jordan Battle here. Keep an eye on Jordan Battle as this play develops, right? There's no one really over here to really hold him. He is just jogging. He willingly takes on this block. I mean, we let this receiver come from what? This receiver is going to come from this spot here, going to run all the way up here and get position on you. That's pretty crazy. So when we're kind of negative towards Jordan Battle, it's these plays. It is exactly these plays. You can't just assume that the rest of the defense is going to make a play here. We need you to get involved. There is a lot here he could have done in terms of, okay, like at least Geno Stone's running up and trying to make a tackle. He sucks. He misses a tackle. I get it. But one of the reasons why the running back can shake Stone so well is because guys are not being able to get off blocks. Like, how are we doing this? Watch Barrett Carter here. If we can go back, Battle stinks on this play. But can we go back and look at Barrett Carter for a second, too? Barrett Carter being this linebacker. Oren Burks first. Oren Burks goes underneath the block here. Maybe if he goes over or through, this becomes a different play and you force the cutback completely. But he goes under, and Achane just outruns it. So then look at Barrett Carter get blocked by this guy here. I'm going to let it play. I mean, that should not be happening. These should not be happening. You're going to have missed tackles. But I should not have guys getting hung up on blocks 15, 20, 25 yards down the field. And, yeah, that's a bad play for Jordan Battle. On a day where I thought he was good. He had a missed tackle that I didn't like. He had that I absolutely hated. Nothing really for our corners to do here. It's a good play by Barrett Carter, who's good in the box and good going forward. I did whatever review that was. I can't remember which one that was. But I still think that's what he is and can do. Very uneventful game for the corners. Here we go. We're in off coverage here. We actually get something on the outside, and Ewers is looking at it. So we got DJ Turner versus Waddle up here. Turner flipping his hips and running with him. It's a bad throw by Ewers because if you can hit this here, it's probably a good route by Waddle, and it's probably a completion. Instead, we have a little bit of pressure up front. Ewers airmails it up the field. And we get credit for DJ Turner not allowing a catch there. Although I think, a good quarterback can still. I think a good quarterback receiver combo beats most corners in the league just because of how the position is. So it's not always a straight up knock on our corners when you give up a catch. I want you guys to understand that. And that leads me right to this next play. Dax Hill versus Darren Waller. I like this. We got a problem with corners, right? Or tight ends. I'm sorry. We got a problem with tight ends. Jalen Davis ends up getting out here on a receiver. Don't like that, but you know what? Let's cover the tight end because that's been a thing the defense has struggled to do. You also bring in DJ Ivey, who's been coming in to cover tight ends as well. So on this 2 tight end set, they're going to bring the 2 of them over there. And I think we have Barrett Carter coming out on Achane, and we have Turner on Waddle. So that makes sense, what we got. All right, eyes on Dax. He's going to try and make contact here. We know it's a 3rd and short situation. Make this hard for him to get off the line and run. Now you're in his hip pocket. The only thing with Dax here is to kind of step away right there. Do you see it? Instead of getting his eyes around and attacking the ball, you don't always have to get your head around. I've talked about that before. It's not a requirement to get your head around. From this point, when you've got eyes up and you see the hand hit there, or you see the receiver's hands catch the ball there, you're going to try and lift up and get through it and knock it down. He actually does a really good job here. Waller switches the ball from the one hand to the other to avoid Dax and makes that catch. So you get, again, former Pro Bowl tight end, I think. We're going to call him one here. Just mossing your guys. It's good coverage. He's tight. It's sticky. He tries to knock it out. Just did not work. And it's not always going to work. All right, we've got a deep route here against DJ Turner in breaker, and then he's going to bring it to the corner. So he's going to release in and then break it to the corner is what I want to say. So watch DJ up here. Run with him, flip his hips, stay with him, all on him. Like, that's a good coverage play for DJ Turner. Again, the ball doesn't get thrown that way. It is what it is, whatever. I don't know what happens to Barrett Carter here. If you're wondering where the pass got completed. If you don't remember this play, watch Barrett Carter, who's coming across the middle against a receiver. So that's advantage Miami. But it's doubly an advantage if your guy just can't be an athlete. Like, what happened? We're just falling on the ground. All right. Off coverage with our corners. Very condensed formation, right? What I mean by condensed, everyone for Miami is right here. So our corners are also inside. Play action. They jump on Waller. Like, look at this. Look at Waller hooking up right here. And Ewers did peek there first. Now he's coming this way. But you've got, I mean, they are like, we are not letting this tight end beat us anymore. We are sick of it. We are done. And it comes now to the Y swing. This is the Y, he's being the tight end. He's the lead block. Y lead swing. And Dax has to come up, dives underneath. We've seen him do this before. Highly athletic play. Gets on his feet and makes the tackle. This is a tremendous play by Dax Hill. Again, defeating a blocker and then coming up to make the tackle. I've seen people say that he's not the most physical guy. And I want to find a bunch of nut jobs for this defense next year because I think they're missing that edge. And someone asked, is Dax a nut in the slot? Nah, I don't know that he is. He's not Mike Hilton in the slot, right, in terms of craziness. But on the boundary, he might be. You get softer corners on the boundary, and maybe that's the difference of why he looks sometimes better on the outside. Both our corners releasing right at the snap again. I don't know if you watched it, if you're Dax and DJ both jumping out of there. Miles Murphy with the tackle. I remember this one being unblocked. He's going to surf down, come down, make the stop there. He and BJ Hill. I thought BJ Hill was good on review. I'm excited to cut up all of McKinley Jackson snaps too. I'm going to post those on Twitter. I'll probably post all of Shamar Stewart's reps on Twitter. So again, we're in the same situation again, just to point it out. Jalen Davis is out here versus Washington, who's all in the slot a lot. He's a smaller guy. So this is a fair matchup for the Bengals. This puts DJ Turner over here, Dax Hill in the slot. So Dax getting in the slot, covering tight ends a little bit. And as you can see, our corners, I don't know if you were able to follow them. Dax has his guy. Turner has his guy. Jalen Davis has his guy. We're good. Coverage, I mean, even the linebackers here, we're good. Let's see where Ewers goes with the ball here. He just eventually lays it up, and it's incomplete. We're going to go back now because that was DJ Turner versus Jalen Waddle. So we got Turner here, Waddle here. Let's watch the coverage. I believe we're going to bench route this thing again, which is inside release and then back to the corner. So there it is, trying to fight through traffic. Good job, both sides. Honestly, Waddle has to fight through too. Turner does as well. That is one of the quickest and fastest receivers to cover, and Turner is one of the fastest, quickest corners. So you can, even if you see a little bit of separation between them, man, that tells you how fast Waddle is. But you make that a tough throw for the quarterback by having good positioning. All right, run play here. We got to stop. Looks like Cedric Johnson. Good job for him. Nice to see him getting his reps in his second year. A lot of reps this year. I think more than he's had last year now. I'm going to go back here. Must be a zone coverage because Dax is over Waddle here. But you're going to see, that's why zone gets killed very often when you do play action and have a misdirection like that. Because as the linebackers get sucked up and then jump on Greg Dulcich here, there's nobody left to take Darren Waller. And so we've had this void quite a few times that we've broken down on for the Bengals defense is where these linebackers get split due to misdirection and just a lot of stuff for them to look at. Nice big hit from Jordan Battle. We need that. We need him to do that. But yeah, they're attacking and trying to confuse those linebackers, these young linebackers for the Bengals there. Shamar Stewart with the tackle here. I'm going to call it out while we got it. Stewart's inside. They kicked everyone down one. Cedric Johnson standing up. Demetrius Knight standing up. I think Knight's going to have a nice play here against the tight end, forcing the running back to come back in while Stewart comes from the backside and helps make the tackle. So Knight's feeling himself on that, although I don't think that's the way he should be used. Once in a while, he makes a play there. All right, our corners are off. Turner this way, Dax at the top. Let's see here. We got play action. Dax really bites up on this one. Right here, he's going to bite up. But the ball is not going that way. Despite all the action going that way, we're going to get our eyes back on DJ Turner and Jalen Waddle. Waddle, again, is going to they're really selling this. I can't tell where Dulcich comes from, but they're really selling that we're going this way and we're booting this way. So understandably, DJ Turner is going to really bite inside. He's got outside leverage, inside help, so he maybe goes a little bit too far there. And instead of just flipping his hips and running, he tries to reach before he flips his hips and goes. He's trying to use the receiver to help slow himself down. Doesn't work, and Waddle gets open for the catch. But DJ Turner doesn't give up. He's there to limit the yards after the catch, and he actually rips this ball out for a forced fumble. So coverage, just okay. Staying with the play, trying to make a play, great for DJ Turner. You're going to give up some catches. So again here, I don't even know where this play goes, but I'm just guessing we've got a throw over the middle. Jalen Davis is back in this here. We got to act like we're pitching this. What do? We get the linebacker action. A lot of these guys jumping up this way. Let's see if we can create a gap between these two linebackers and exploit them over the middle. There's the gap. Got a player open now. Throw it. Bang. We got some missed tackles. And it's zone coverage here. Battle's trying to run across. Trying to get there. Stone misses. Battle misses. That was the one big missed tackle he had. He may have been charged with two, but there was only really one that I thought was a clear missed tackle, if I remember correctly. Run up the inside here, just a few yards. Nothing for our corners there. And then now we have their second touchdown of the game. We got to reverse. We got a lot of action in the middle here. Bringing the tight end over. Really looks like you're selling this inside. I mean, understandably why everyone dives inside here. And then you're pulling guys to the front side and pitching it to the receiver. It's a big play. I want to see DJ Turner real fast here. If he ends up with 89 on him, that's just doing work. All right. So that's 2 drives in or 3 drives. I can't remember. That was 3 drives because HN had the long touchdown. That was the 3rd drive here. And I believe that's when we go to halftime, or they get one more and then we go to halftime. Either way. We've seen this. We've gone to this since week 1. Teams have been trying to hit the Bengals on this. They're going to bring the receiver right behind a bigger target here. This is Waller. And as Waller runs up, you're going to bring Waddle behind him and then try to release. This is inside. This is good against man coverage. Watch DJ Turner fight through. You see how he jumped to the outside here? This is when Waddle's going to cross his face and should go to the middle. But watch Turner actually do a great job not getting hung up by Waller and sticking with Waddle, which makes Ewers bail the pocket and run. That's a really good job. I'm going to go back one more time. It's a really good job by DJ Turner. Again, these are not going to be on the stat sheet, but these are the things that are on tape consistently, which is why I think he should be a Pro Bowl corner this year. Because there are a lot of plays where he is causing chaos for the offense because he is very sticky in coverage. Our corners are off. Not much to really go through. We're getting to our check down here where Jordan Battle has to come up and make the tackle. That was his other miss. That's right. It didn't kill them. He only got like a yard and a half, maybe two after the contact there. But we need we need him to be a good tackler. He's just a little bit tight. These are athletic misses, not effort misses, which is a big difference. All right, we got a good play here. Run defense play for our corners. We have Dax on the outside with Jalen Davis right at the line here with the slot receiver. And we're going to pitch it out wide, which means our guys got to play defense. Davis is going to fire right away, if you can tell. He's going to go underneath this blocker while Dax is going to go on the outside and set the edge. It takes the two of them to really stifle this run, and you see it right there. So that's a really good job by the two of them. Again, Dax isn't going to show up on the stat sheet there because Jalen Davis made the tackle on his own. But both of them, or else you would just try and outrun Jalen Davis if no one was on the corner to really stop it. We got pitch out here. Our corners don't get involved there. It's more linebackers and D-line, so we'll keep it moving. And this is where DJ Turner checks himself out of the game right there. Game's starting to get away, and you can see he's not feeling great. So we will focus on Josh Newton a little bit. He's a depth player, but I think a quality depth player. And he had a big play today. So we will keep him in our sights as we do this. We got Dax on the edge. Dax is at the top of the screen. He's got to set the edge here against the fullback, stay to the outside, force that guy back inside. He does. Tackle by Myles Murphy. So again, being a part of the defense, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. I think it's a 3rd and long play now, and it's a quick pass over the middle as the Bengals set up the picket fence right at the first down marker, and then Jordan Battle's going to come up and make a nice solid hit. Ball knocked away by Battle, knocked into the air again by Geno Stone, and recovered by Myles Murphy. It's a good job by Jordan Battle. Battle's in the box down here with Dax with him. Looks like we're getting a rotation. I can already see the corners rotating. And this is when the Bengals are going to get their hands on the ball on multiple plays here. Barrett Carter jumps up on Dulcich, and they think they got this window shot here. Carter just gets a hand on it and falls incomplete. There's a PBU for Barrett Carter. I didn't see if he was credited with one, but he should have been. All right, Davis in the slot with Dax on his side. We got receiver going in motion. And again, like this, Ewers is pretty quick on this. Watch Ewers, how quickly he's like, yeah, this ball's got to come out now. This guy's not even ready. But you know who is ready? You know who also sees it? Watch Dax Hill. Okay. Watch him right now. Like, he is firing. He can tell his... So when you're off coverage and you're over here shaded inside like this rather than facing this way, so when you're shaded inside facing the quarterback, you can get eyes on him. You can see when he's getting ready to throw. You got eyes on the guys in front of you, and you can click, close, react, and get there for the pass breakup, which he does. Good job, Dax Hill. Takes a shot from his fellow linebacker, but he's okay. All right, this is when we got to look at Josh Newton. We got off coverage over here. Off coverage. I even think that's Jalen Davis here. Off coverage. So everyone's off. They're angled again. They're angled inside. Their eyes are inside, right? They're looking to see what's happening. Get eyes on the quarterback. Really play with good eyes. Understand how they're trying to attack you on this one. And these guys are really going deep. Really going deep. Honestly, this throw, Ewers probably misses it. Is this slot guy here? Let me go back. If he chucks this right away, let's see, when you pass this line here of Jalen Davis, bang. If you throw this now, that's open. But the Bengals get over there eventually. And if I go back on Newton, top of the screen, Bengals have run this a ton where they're going to send one guy deep and they're going to wrap the other guy on a dig behind him. And you should still be able to attack this void, right? Even though you miss this guy running the seam, you still attack this void with the dig behind him. So Newton sees this, and instead of Newton, honestly, could have kept going deep and carried this guy since he looks like he's in a deep zone. He sees what's happening because his eyes are on the backfield. He can see the quarterback, and he's going to cut with that receiver, pop that ball in the air. Barrett Carter makes the catch, and we have a turnover on back-to-back drives. It's a really good play by Josh Newton. And again, it stems from having their eyes forward. They're not playing straight up man. And you can make a play when you can see what's happening. Run towards us, towards our side here, right side. And Miles Murphy, Barrett Carter. Get the tackle here, along with TJ Slayton, who I would like to review also. There's going to be a lot of off-season review episodes. Get a screen pass here and a missed tackle. That was Barrett Carter. This ends up being a penalty, I believe. Or was it not? This wasn't the play, was it? But just a missed tackle by Barrett Carter, which we don't want. Again, Miles Murphy's playing with an intensity that he did not possess the first 2 years. If you want to know what's really better about him, he's aware of where the ball is much more. But his intensity has definitely ramped up. Watch him take on this lead block here. Bam! Head to head. I mean, he's setting this edge. He is forcing that running back to cut into the middle. And that's where Barrett Carter and TJ Slayton are. It's physicality, man. He is playing hard. He's feeling it. He should be feeling it. He's playing well. This is confidence playing also. I mean, what are the wins worth in the end of the season? Not worth much. But the personal confidence you get from playing well as a player, it's worth a lot to the players. We got a big play action, just two-man route here. I'm watching Josh Newton at the top of the screen, by the way. Really breaks down well with that receiver. Really good job. I think we're starting to see our backups in completely now because I'm seeing DJ Ivy as well. Ivy covering the tight end. Josh Newton. No, it's not all the backups because we're not there yet. Dax Hill is still in there. So Dax is covering the slot. DJ Ivy is covering a tight end, Dulcich. Jalen Davis in the slot. And Josh Newton down at the bottom being the kind of playing the number one boundary corner. And there's Ivy covering a man, covering Dulcich. So Ivy's become their man cover tight end guy. And he's all over him, right? He is sticky on that. That becomes a catch. But, I mean, I will take that. If that's Ivy's job, because people have said, let's get a guy to erase tight ends. I know we haven't talked about it too much, but he's only getting like 5 to 8 plays per game. When he does, I think he does a good job. And then this is the fourth down. And you got to make a tackle there. That contested ball ends up being tackled, which leads to this fourth down, which you were slips, and you get a turnover on downs. It all matters. Keep playing, right? Keep hustling. Keep flowing towards the ball. Keep fighting. All right, Dax is pressing down here against Waller. And this is there we go. Now we got the wheel route. I think this is matchup right here. Davis versus Waddle. Matchup advantage Dolphins. Of course it is. We're going to get a wheel route, and we're going deep. But my God, watch how Jalen Davis plays this thing. I mean, excellent, right? You see watch him flip his hips right here. Get contact with the receiver. Get eyes up on the ball. Flip, turn, high point, catch it, both feet in. I mean, it's a great play. You know, the other thing is, too, that this guy here would love to rub you and give Waddle a clear path down the field. That receiver does a bad job. I mean, you got to make that a little bit tighter. He must not understand his role in the offense there of helping get his guy open. But for Davis, tremendous. So that was the last play for the starters. Jalen Davis did play a little bit more. DJ Ivey played a little bit more. Josh Newton played the rest of the game, obviously. But the defense was pulled, which is not something we have been able to say for a long time. So that was Dax, DJ Turner, and Jalen Davis as starters. A little bit of Jordan Battle mixed in there because it's hard not to say his name when he's involved so much. The only guy we don't want to focus on is Geno Stone. He's gone. We don't have to talk about him. Well, other than complaining for 2 more weeks as he misses tackles, not the point. The microscope is supposed to be positive when it is positive, and it was for Turner, Dax, and Davis. Does that mean, and I want to say first, DJ Turner's had an incredible year. One of the best, highest graded players from PFF for the Bengals. Great year overall on defense. Jalen Davis, though, in the time he's played now, is the second highest graded player on defense for PFF. Only behind Trey Hendrickson. So of the active players, the highest. We mentioned Ivy. Ivy's got a good grade in his limited snaps. Dejon Anthony, and he had a limited, snaps in the blowout game this week. He played well, based on PFF. I'm going to cut up all these also and post them on Twitter because we're in that evaluation mode. We want to see how these guys all play. But Dax Hill as well. I think he's done really well since he's been put out to the boundary. That first game, he was kind of rusty. It was the Patriots game. He gave up a couple penalties and big throws. After that, he's been really good. They're not getting yards on our 2 boundary corners. So what do you do for next year? Number 1, Dax's 5th-year option's already been picked up. Decently expensive. You should probably extend DJ Turner. I'm in favor of it. I think everyone in here, leave a comment if you're not in favor of extending DJ Turner right now. He's a young player, ascending. Only has gotten better 3 years in a row now. I would like to extend that. If they're both making $14 to $15 million next year, which seems reasonable based on how I would project it, you can't afford to spend on a third corner. So Jalen Davis may have to play, or they'd go and draft a slot corner, which you can find in rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, undrafted. That's where they come from. You can find an impact, fast, psycho player. They're always in the draft every year at slot corner. And then you can really turn this cornerback room into a strength of this team. Because Jalen Davis is 30. That's the part, right? Like, he's a low pedigree, been on the practice squad. Shout out to him, honestly. He's playing great. But in terms of extending him, paying him, giving him a starting job, that's a very Bengal thing to do. But I also think you could really upgrade or secure. Let's say you could secure that position by getting a 4th-round pick in here that has the attributes and the style and skill set to play the slot. Because that's a premium pick for a slot corner. So, you could do that and upgrade it. And then that brings us to safety. I just want to talk about it a little bit. Battle is still young enough, has made enough splash plays. 4 interceptions, 6 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, 115 tackles if you use the total tackles. He's been involved in a lot. I think if you give him a good safety to pair with, which is probably the biggest number 1 need for this team in terms of, now don't get me wrong, I think pass rush is a bigger issue, but you're going to spend for pass rush. You can go get a good starting safety. The best starting safeties in the league are making $16 million. You can go and get a impact player, and there's a bunch of safeties in free agency this year. A lot of options at safety, not so much at defensive tackle, not so much at D end. There's a lot of linebacker options too. We'll get to the offseason talk. But I think you add the right safety, you draft the right corner to mix in. This secondary can look good. And maybe that is Josh Downs with the 9th pick. Maybe they end up at 12th and he's not there. It sounds like even the safety class in rounds 2, rounds 3 are really good. So you could sign one and draft one in the mid-rounds. I'm going to be against that. The depth at safety is pretty questionable. It's a reason why Geno's been playing all year. They don't trust the backups. So we need to get a backup in here as well. So it could be 2 guys in that safety room, maybe 1 corner added. But to feel good about a certain position or a unit on a terrible defense, that's a good thing to have. And I hope they finish out the season this way because I really am happy with a lot of these guys. They've been developing for a while. Dax has been on the team since 2022. DJ Turner, 2023. Jalen Davis, said it again. Jalen Davis been on the roster since Mike Hilton's been here. He's been his understudy forever. And for him to get his shot now and do his thing now, very proud to see the development there, because there's not a lot of players on the defensive side that we would say, because what have we said about a lot of these draft picks? Bengals have paid the offensive side. They've developed pretty much everyone on offense other than Jermaine Burton. The O-linemen are developing. Mims looks as good as he ever has. Dalton Reisner's having a career year. Fairchild's been nothing but a steady improvement. They've all developed. You go to the defensive side, spent a ton of draft picks. They haven't developed. It's been Cam Taylor-Britt playing well early and then hitting a wall and never coming back, right? Jordan Battle, really good rookie year in a limited way, and then never rebounded until he started to accumulate some good games now here in his third year. The rookies at linebacker, have they gotten better marginally? Maybe a little bit. Enough to keep starting them? I'm not so sure. A lot of the D linemen that they've drafted haven't gotten better. But now, Myles Murphy looks better. Joseph Osai looks like he's reached a starting level player. Hey, McKinley Jackson had 34 snaps, guys. Check out those ones. I'm going to post those on Twitter. I thought he looked good. So maybe they are developing. If they're developing, that's huge. It's paramount to success once you've paid Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Got to develop the picks you have. You got to nail the picks. You got to develop the ones that are good players. And then you have to retain and keep them. DJ Turner, Dax Hill. Let's extend them both, I think, at this point. I would be for it. This has been Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. Until next time, Bengals Cardinals. We got a live show, actually, Friday. You guys want to come in, ask questions. Jake and I are going to be doing a live show. We'll tell you the time. It's going to be in the afternoon, early afternoon. But, yeah, come in. We're going to be in there talking about the opponent coming up, where the Bengals are at, how this week has gone, and a lot more outlook stuff for the season. So join us for that on the First Star Logistics Media YouTube page. And until next time, Hooray.